So now what do I do? Well, I guess there's only one thing. There's something I'd like to know. Are you real? Can you feel?
Hi friends, I'm Prairie Vintage. My name's Linda. I'm an energy intuitive reader here on YouTube, and I use spirits, my intuition, the tarot to communicate energies to you guys, fabulous viewers. If you guys are new to this channel, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I hope that you guys stay and that this reading resonates with you. For those of you guys returning, hello. Thank you so much for joining me again. I can't wait to do your reading again and see what we have. For today's reading, we'll be using these decks right here, and I'll put a link to the deck reveal for all of these decks in case you're interested in flipping through the cards and, of course, energetically charging these cards for future readings. You guys are all very safe and welcome in this space with me today. Today's reading, we'll be taking a look at a situation in which you're having to decide between two paths, two options. Okay, one path's going to lead you one way, and the other path will lead you in a different direction. So if you're not contemplating or pondering over two different sort of ways you can go or outcomes that can follow whatever decision you make, then this might not be your reading. But if you are sitting there wondering which way you should go, maybe you're having a tough time making a decision on a certain direction in your world, then this reading should provide you with a look at what will happen if you go down a certain path based on the energy frequency that you're currently in. Okay, now please remember, energy fluctuates, and so I could do this reading 2 minutes from now and have a whole different reading if your energy shifts, because you can control your energy, whether you're in a higher vibration or a lower vibration, and whatever you're manifesting in front of you. Okay, so don't take this as set in stone. And yeah, one thing that's like annoying a little bit to me is when people are like, oh, I cross my fingers and I hope this reading's true. I'm not predicting any sort of thing that's supposed to happen or something like this. This isn't fortune telling, okay? This is tarot reading, which is really just, it's reflecting back your state of consciousness. So if you tap into that reading and it resonates for you, that's the most likely energy, frequency, vibration you're in. And that's why tarot generally is really showing you what's happening, because it's really in your energy field. Okay, if you weren't in this energy vibration, you wouldn't even be connecting with this reading, that pile, this topic. Okay, so you clicked on this topic, your energy vibration is pulling through, and then you're having to decide between two things. Now, this part, very important. You have to know which two paths, two decisions, okay? Because one reading is going to be the one path, the other reading is going to be if you go down the other path. So only you can hold those two sort of decisions, those two paths in your mind. And then I'm going to read path one, path two. So hold path one and path two in your mind and know which one's on the left, which one's on the right. Okay, and in that reading, I will sort of reveal or connect to that energy so that you know whether that is resonating with that path and whether that other path is resonating with that other path, okay? If it doesn't, then it's probably either another pile or this isn't your reading, unfortunately, and I can't do anything about that. Okay, so I'm not predicting anything. I'm just reading a state of energy, and because energy isn't linear, then it seems like it's predicting future, but it's like, no, energy is happening already. Everything's happening at once. So your energy vibration now can dictate where you flow. Okay, energy is sitting on a more of a top-down sort of energy because everything's sort of stacked and happening. So you can go any which sort of way, all right? And that's what we're going to take a look at, because you can go down one path or the other and then have a whole other set of circumstances, but everything's sort of happening at once. So it's up to you to choose whichever path, okay? But we're going to see the most likely outcome if you're sort of going down one path, and what will happen if you go down the other. Okay, so keep an open mind. And of course, if it doesn't feel like something that resonates for you, or you're not liking that message, then don't take that message. Shift your energy frequency. That's totally in your hands, okay? So option number one, we have the road. Option number two, we have the drive. And option number three, we have the lane. So you can do this for multiple sort of scenarios or decisions you're making in your world. Okay, but like I said, one option is going to be one path and then the other path. Okay, and then this second pile will be one path or one decision, and then the other path will be the other decision. So each of these piles has sort of two paths attached to it. Okay, and you can even say like a yes, no sort of thing. If I say yes to this thing and if I say no to this thing, and see what sort of happens. Okay, so I hope this made sense to you guys. I'm trying to keep it very simple. Okay, and I will put the timestamps down below, and I will see you guys at your pick. Hello, beautiful angel. Pile number 1, you guys picked the road, path, or crossroads. Okay, and we're looking at a decision that you are looking at making, and one decision will take you one way and the other decision will take you in a whole different other path. Okay, these are the decks we'll be using for your reading, and this is the before tarot and the after tarot. Okay, don't pay no mind to the before, after. It doesn't really necessarily mean that it's going to be sort of a before and after state. Okay, but these are the decks I use, and there could be some weight in that. We'll see for sure. Okay, but really what you are being called to do is hold one decision, one path in your mind, and then the other path, the other decision, and what will be what. Okay, what's sort of on the left, what's on the right. Okay, or what's first and then what's second. Okay, so if you want to say, if I go down this way, and what does that look like? And if I go down, path A or path B, what does that look like? In fact, I think I'll call it path A, path B to keep it simple. Okay, and it could be a yes, no. So A is yes, B is no. What will be the outcome of those decisions that I make? Okay, so if you're sort of torn between two decisions, this might give you some clarity as to what might happen. So I am running a promotion right now for those of you guys interested in a private reading, or if you're interested in any antique vintage jewelry, you can visit me at prairievintagejewelry.com. I'll put the information below. And if you enter in Sunshine35 at the checkout, then you can receive 35% off from now till the end of March off all private readings and the jewelry off my website. Okay, so path A, hold that in your mind. I will clarify what sort of path or decision this is, okay? If it doesn't sort of resonate, and they could be flipped for sure, okay? But just sort of hold path A in your mind and B in your mind, and then I'll clarify here, okay? Because I don't want to confuse you. But if this doesn't sort of resonate with the decision you're making, then it's not your pile. We'll go to another pile. You're not stuck or obligated there, and then that's it, that's all, okay? So that's why I do multiple piles. Our intuition isn't always sort of completely on point all the time. Okay, so clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of beautiful pile 1. They're looking at making a decision. Path A and path B. What is going to happen if they go down path A? What is the most likely outcome based on the energy frequency that's going on around them if they go down path A? What is path A going to take them or lead them down? I feel these cards are a little stiff. So clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile 1. Spirit, please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of the decisions that they're making. Thank you, pile 1, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed to be here. I'd like to take this time to thank your spirit team, your higher self, of course, the angels, ancestors, and guides that are here helping this act of divination today. Thank you so much. We are so blessed to be here. So path A, and where will this lead to? How will it go? What is the most likely outcome? Okay, so this is A. I'm going to make a little bit of space here. I don't want to ruin my beautiful little display here. Don't know, go all out. So I don't know that I'm going to do B just yet, okay, because I need space for my flailing hands. So let's take a looky-loo. Let me take this off because I'm hot and I'm dragging all the cards around. Okay, so we have Page of Wands. Remember, this is Path A, okay? We have the Nine of Swords in the reverse. We have the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. And we have the King of Pentacles in the reverse. And we have the two, interesting, the decision right in the middle here, the two Wands. Okay, right in the middle. We have the Lovers. Oh, hello, dude. Okay, Gemini energy here. Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn here. Six Pentacles in the reverse. Three Pentacles in the reverse. And the Moon. Okay, Cancer energy. Sometimes I do read it as Pisces as well. And occasionally Scorpio pulls through. And I'm reading from the subconscious. But let's take a look at what this is all about, beautiful angel, and what you're sort of contemplating here, okay? Okay, this one is easy. Like, I don't even feel like this is a decision you can sort of make really. This feels like a circumstance that's out of your hands at the end of the day. There's a situation here, okay, that is sort of out of your hands. You can't progress. You can't follow down this path. You want to explore it for sure. I think it's giving you a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety. This could lead to something for your future. You feel very connected to it. It does feel like it's destined. You are being guided, but it's stuck. And you're like, I want to go down this path. I want to build here. I feel connected to this. And this thing isn't producing. And this thing isn't proving worthy of my time or my energy or my effort yet because it hasn't produced. And if you're working with people, they're not cooperating. If you're trying to build something, you feel like it's not building because the other side of this equation is not in line. So people haven't shown up. They're not cooperating. They're not, you can't see how to build this thing because it's not going to be something you could sort of build alone, really. It has a whole set of circumstances around it, external, you know? And if you are working with someone, like I said, or trying to get an external set of circumstances or someone to work with you or see the vision or pick up their weight, it's like this person, this thing isn't, you can't rely on it just yet. They're unreliable. It's unstable. And so you're really not seeing the vision and confused about how it would get there. And there's a lot of doubt about question marks about this path, as you'd be right, because this isn't in your hands. Doing this a path, whatever this is, okay? I don't know if you're wanting to hear that or not. Now, this doesn't mean that A won't happen. My cat is scratching, which is confirming something. Give me a second. What do you want? Oh, you want out. Okay. I'm sorry. I trapped you in here. Thought you wanted to come in. It wants to go out. Yeah, it wants to go out. So, okay. So, of course, we have decisions we can always make, you know, in front of us. And I feel like this is the part that's kind of weighing you down or causing you stress and anxiety because you feel maybe like you have more power, you know, and I don't want to unempower you, but really the divine. And when we're destined down a path, we can make decisions all we want all day long. And eventually the path in which we're being called to take is there in front of us. And when it opens, it opens. And it's up to us to walk down it or not. And so if that path is not open just yet, and if it's sort of still being laid out and figured out, we have no choice but to be patient and wait. And maybe we're thinking we can drive something here or do something here more. It's like, no. Okay, but this is something definitely that's connected to your destined path. So maybe that's your question is like, is this even a thing? Yes, it's a big fat fucking thing. It's a big thing that hasn't manifested yet. And it's a big thing that is out of your hands because the universe is going to, this looks like divine timing, has been guiding you. When it opens, it opens. It does seem like there's another person or external entity or thing that needs to fall into place. So if you're dealing with, you know, like it has to cross its T's, dots its I's, or whatever other person that needs to be involved here. They have to be divinely in the right timing in order for this thing, because this thing is going to take more than just you. This thing takes another side, and you have no control over this thing. And so maybe this is the anxiety, because the ego is going to want the control. And so why I'm getting ego, even though there's no cards really of ego here, okay? And so this confuses people, because people they listen to that and they just automatically assume it's not them. Everyone has an ego that acts up, whether we listen to it or not. This ego is saying that it needs to sort of have some sort of control in order to make something happen. That's an ego. It's attached to a story that it thinks it can control something, and that's what's creating the suffering and the anxiety, because we cannot force outcome. We cannot get anyone or anything to do something different. And I feel like there's a lot of stress about whether this thing will pan out or not. And I think he really wants to explore here, because I think you see that there is something that can manifest. It's lucrative, and it's like it just didn't happen yet. It's not budding yet. And so you might even feel like the universe is withholding, and it feels very stuck. And it's like, well, I want to go down that path. It's like, so I want to be 6 foot, doesn't matter really at this end of the day. And so I think the confusion though is like, you connect to this. You could be highly intuitive here. So you're being guided, you're connected, you feel it, it's true. It's like, yes, it's destined, I'm guided. So why am I stuck? And that's the journey. Spirit saying, well, you'll find out. And the stuckness here is unraveling a whole bunch of things for you that must be worked through, seen through, understood. And in that process, that's the divine timing. And then once you reach a certain stage in which the Spirit says, okay, now it's open, now you can manifest this thing. But to get there, you're at the mercy of the universe. We don't like this. Ego doesn't like it. It wants to control us. The only reason we'd want control, not because we're controlling, is because the ego doesn't like uncertainty. It doesn't like vagueness. It thinks it has some sort of control or power, that its decisions are going to be, that we're in control. When I decide this, when I decide that, it sort of happens. It's like, no, we're not a doer. And of course, we make decisions. They're very limited to whatever's in front of us. We can either accept what's in front of us or decline, or we can be challenged by what's in front of us and create a whole hoopla, resistance, suffering, or we can flow with it. That's the decision we can make. But whatever's in front of us is what's in front of us. A train happens to be in front of us. An accident happens to be in front of us. A storm happens to be in front of us. A flat tire happens to be in front of us. Death could happen in front of us. Anything can happen in front of us that has no bearing about your decision. Okay, but we could spend 3 days working on the flat tire, or we could make a decision that goes the other way. But the flat tire is going to happen, So this is always my analogy here, and the ego doesn't like this. But that whole thing was creating a set of circumstances to go down a path, because Spirit wants to guide you. You are guided 100%. This thing, though I do feel, is tied to your destiny for sure. You're not dreaming. Okay, but I feel like there's things that we're working through. And one big thing is this idea we might have that we have more control, because what stems control? Fear. If we didn't fear, we wouldn't have a need for control, because we would just let the chips sort of fall. But it's like, I must have this go in a way, so I must control outcome or chase outcome, or have things go in a way that makes me feel a certain way. And so therefore, there's a fear driving this thing. Fear of losing out, fear of it not happening, fear of if I don't do, then I might miss out, or it's not going to align. And that's the thing you're working through. That whatever is going to happen will happen. It might be restoring your faith in yourself, in the divine, in others. And yeah, I feel like you have a vision, understanding of a future. Okay. And so Spirit's saying, don't project into the future, be in the right now. And I know in the right now, this thing is blocked, and you'd be right, because it's not time yet. And this doesn't mean you have to stay there staring at the stuckness either. Okay, because this thing isn't providing yet. And Spirit says, I'm going to guide you, don't worry. And you will see certain things come up that are needing to be understood by you. And all will be clear eventually down this path. Don't you worry. But what the Spirit's really trying to do with this path here is get you out of your mind, get you out of certain ways that you dialogue with yourself and beliefs you might have about how you live your life when it comes to things like this, because we might always default to, again, the needs to control, or I'm the doer, or I can have a lot of anxieties and project into the future, so I'm not in the present moment. And when I'm not, Spirit wants to awaken us and say, well, you can't be living in the future and you can't be living in the past, because it's living in fears, doubt, lack, attaching, and making up a fantasy story. Okay, I say fantasy because it's not in the present moment with what is, accepting how the state of being. We have to accept the state of being here. And when we get comfortable in that, things sort of flow and open up because we've learned. But when we attach, that's really what I'm seeing here. When we attach, then we haven't learned the thing that's coming through and we're still in the fear. And a lot of you guys are learning about your intuition. And this could take some time because it's over a period of experience that we sort of keep being shown our intuition, and then we're like, oh, I get it. So you could be developing your spiritual gifts during this path. And that's why whatever's not manifested yet hasn't happened, because the spiritual intuition hasn't come online just yet. We don't believe it, or we haven't connected to Spirit yet. There's more learning here, really, at the end of the day. Okay. But it's frustrating for sure. And I know it's causing you a lot of stress and anxiety. Okay. I really feel like this will happen at some point in time. When? Don't know, because it's divine timing, and we hate that. And divine timing doesn't say that Spirit knows on the date. It's going to be December 28th. That's the divine timing. It's supposed to happen on the 28th. That's not really necessarily what the divine timing is. Divine timing means that this could happen at the point in which whatever was supposed to be revealed and understood gets revealed and understood, because the power is within you to drop resistance and surrender and see the lesson and connect to the intuition. And so if that takes you till December 28th, it's December 28th. If that takes you to, April 1st, then that's April 1st. Whatever the time is, it fluctuates based on your acceptance, your understanding. Okay, and because I do feel there's a second entity here, another person, something that has to align up. It's not just with you. And so Spirit knows all the intricacies. And so maybe you say, well, I'm ready, and I feel like, no, I don't feel you're ready here. Okay. Not because you're lacking anything or really missing anything you need to seek. This is just saying the truth hasn't yet been understood by you, of the reality of something here that's being shown to you, that's releasing doubts, fears, anxieties, control. Okay. All of that stuff that we might think we're not doing, that we are actually doing. And that could be it. We think we're not doing it, so we keep just staying in there. And it's like, no, you're trying to control, or you're trying, being. And of course, we could admire that whole thing because we're just not sitting back, letting things sort of fall. But this thing doesn't require a doing. This thing requires a surrendering and getting out of mind and control. Okay, so that's A. Let's take a look at B. I'm just curious. Look, don't do anything. This is reflecting and healing. Okay, a period of pause, maybe a period of meditating, sitting with the divine, getting balanced. And the mind here isn't necessarily a bad thing, but the mind can be a thing here that creates the need for control because we buy the story. And so this is what we're healing. Okay, but I do feel there's past pains that have to be understood or seen or sat with in order to heal and see the truth. And I don't think you see the truth just yet. It's not understood by you. There's still a belief that I think that you're carrying. And I feel the big one is your ability to control something here, or your attachment to outcome. Okay, and that's the suffering. And Spirit says, once you learn this, not just in this situation or experience, but once you learn this, you can apply this to every aspect of your world, the suffering. Because then we've learned the lesson about how we attach to certain understandings. Okay, and we could just keep applying that understanding so we don't suffer anymore. Get out of the mind, get out of the needs to stress about what will happen, what can happen. That's not being in the present moment. That's living in a sort of a dream fantasy about the woulda, coulda, shoulda, and what if. Okay, so let's just take a look. Path B. What is path B for beautiful angel pile number 1? Sorry, maybe I delivered that a little harsh, but I think it's because this is always sort of the messaging that comes through here. And so we might be very stubborn. And we might still cause even more confusion because that ego wants to hang on. And it's like, I hear the tarot reader, but let me try harder. And the fact that we're here thinking we're deciding between two paths means you think you can. And it's like, it's not about the I that can, it's about this will happen because you're destined to experience this, but it's like the when. And this is more of a when will this happen? When you surrender. When you see the spiritual lesson. That's when. Okay, so, and maybe you're questioning, when will this other thing, this person, this thing be profitable? And Spirit saying, nothing to do with you. Trust. That's it. That's all you got to do. Trust. That's it. Okay, and that brings up uncomfortable feelings, and that's what we're healing. So let's see, B, path B. These are also very stiff. I find when I don't use cards for a while, they get extremely stiff with the energy. So let's see, what's path B? The moon. Interesting. Again, we have moon. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio energy. Path B is 3 Pentacles. Wouldn't that be hilarious if it was this, but the other way around? I'd be like, what? We got the moon and now we have 3 Pentacles. Interesting. But like you notice that this is the after tarot. Okay, and here we have a person. Here it's absence of the person. Fascinating. Let's keep going. Okay, so what's B? If I see the 6 of Pentacles, I'm going to fall off my chair. Should I pull these, Spirit? No, Spirit's saying keep going. Okay, so keep going. Path B for pile 1. What's path B for pile 1? Yeeks. Spirit's like, take 2. Okay. Oh my goodness. 6 cups. Clarified by 2 swords. Okay. Keep going. Oh my goodness. It's just like torpedoing out of that deck. Just give me a sec. Page of Wands. And it felt like this. This is the Page of Wands. All right. Path B for pile number 1. What's path B? The Queen of Pentacles. Beautiful. And now we have the Queen and the Queen and the King of Pentacles. Divine counterparts showing through this reading. Okay, it could be 2 aspects of yourself, the masculine and feminine. Of course, could be symbolizing your partner, because the Lovers is here. Okay, the thing, the future you're building to. But I do read kings and queens as people. 10 Swords. Why is this moon, this Page of Wands here? We have the Star, Aquarius energy. So now instead of the masculine in all his glory, we have the feminine here. The Star, Aquarius energy. Path B for pile 1. Where will this lead to? Path B for pile 1, Spirit. The Judgment in the reverse and the Hierophant, Taurus energy. I will flip the bottom here. The 10 of Wands, surrender, 10 cups. Wow. Okay. Let me just sit here with this energy and channel. Where's my wand? All right. Okay, beautiful angel. This is interesting because we use the before and after tarot, and I really feel like there's only one path. There really is only one path, okay? And maybe we're making it 2, like I said, because we think we have more power or control. It's like, but should I do that or should I do that sort of thing? And Spirit's saying you could do whatever the hell you want. One thing is for certain, you can either suffer or you could just move with the universe, and that is the state in which I'm trying to get you to do so that you could surrender. So you could be burdened or you could surrender. And this is the path sort of the surrender here. Okay, but the surrendering is going to go through hoops and jumps and lessons because I don't think you fully know the surrender path. That's the lesson. The lesson here is that you're going to hit resistance with path A, butting your head up, thinking, I don't know, whatever, however long you want to stay there, for sure. And then you have no choice but to go down path B, and path B is going to show you a whole bunch of things here that we still don't know. We still need to see. And we work with the universe, and sometimes we're going to feel stuck, and sometimes we're going to still not see and understand. And we're going to be always put in front of decisions that are trying to make us sort of wake up to certain truths. And so I do feel like this is a soul lesson of sorts. I do feel like if you might feel like you're turning your back on a person, place, or thing that feels like maybe even a dream or a hope or a wish or something that you're tied to, because remember, you're being guided to this thing. And so you might feel, well, I'm going to abandon this thing, or I'm going to give up on this thing. It's like, no, you're not. It's here with you. You will explore this thing. This is really your only option. This is the part that's you're going down in order for you to hone in on your value. For you to see your own value. Look at her reflection in this pentacle. This is the only way, one way only. And so there's a lot of things Spirit wants you to release, put an end to. And we may anticipate a lot of pain and suffering and that sort of thing, okay, when we release. But I feel like Spirit is saying the only thing you're going to eventually experience out of the surrender and the letting go is a peace. It's a peaceful. Look at this 10 of Swords. It's like a peaceful, okay? After the illusion of the suffering and how all this pain, there's a peace. And so Spirit is saying with this message, don't lose hope, okay? But this is different than attaching to an outcome and forcing outcome. This is, don't lose trust that Spirit will give to you and put in front of you what's meant for you. But you don't need to force Spirit, not that you can, but that's the suffering. Force Spirit by resisting and fighting and believing certain things that might not necessarily be in this present moment. So Spirit's saying, trust that I will do the best thing for you. Trust what's for you will happen. Trust this is going to heal you. This is going to be peaceful once you get to the other side and once you see the truth. This is a lesson of seeing the truth. And this could definitely be a path of awakening. Okay, awakening Spirit, like the Spirit through you, so that you could see your value and you could create your future, but differently than maybe how you have in the past. And so this is why there's resistance. This is why it doesn't feel like flow. This is why we feel stuck. This is why we might feel burdened and heavy. But one thing is for sure, you get your wish and it becomes the happily ever after. Don't doubt it, but surrender. Surrender, and hang on to, because we could surrender and get frustrated and be like, well, that means I'm giving up. No, surrender doesn't mean give up. Surrender says, I'm going to trust and be excited about what the universe is putting in front of me, because I know that this is something here that's Spirit's been guiding me that's going to provide, worthy. But I don't need to do anything. I just need to be excited here about what it is. But if I get upset or angry or resistant and feel I'm giving up, then I sort of give into the stuckness. So you need to maintain an energy here, what Spirit is saying. Maintain an energy of trust, positivity, inspiration. It's hard to do because we might feel like we're giving up on something, but you're not. You're going down a path of seeing your own capability, your own worth, building yourself up here without needing to rely on an external person, place, or thing, because I feel like the path A is someone or something needs to do something here, and then I'll be okay, then I'll be set, then I'll build my future, then I'll be valued, then. No, not true. Spirit's saying you're valuable now, you're capable now, you're confident now, get grounded now, see the truth now, surrender now. This is what you need to see, and work through certain things that need to release certain understandings you might have. Okay? And it's like certain things that you might value, like I value my determination and my ability to sort of get things done, which is fine because sometimes we're needing grit and that sort of a thing, But when we attach to that story, we could create an identity about this thing, that we have a doer within us that's going to do something. It's like, no, that's not surrender. Okay, I'm not saying you have that. I'm just using that as an example because I do feel like there's certain understandings that you believe okay, that have been shown to you or adopted by you, beliefs and understandings that are really actually the cause of the suffering. And this is the thing that's coming to an end. And whatever it is that you feel you're giving up on or walking away from or turning your back on, this innocence or this dream or this childhood thing or this person, place, thing of the past, that somehow there's an involvement here. It's like, let it sort itself out, even if it's stuck right now. Because if it wasn't stuck, then there would be no lessons learned. It would just flow and you wouldn't feel the way that you feel, pushing you outside of your comfort zone and your experience here. So Spirit's saying, do what you can, because there are certain things you can do. And at this point in time in your journey, you're not needing anyone or anything, and you can go explore. And I don't think you like that. I don't think you want to leave something behind. You have a story in your mind about what that means, and you're not seeing properly. And so this could cause a lot of doubt. This could cause a lot of fear of abandoning, I don't know, this project or this thing, or what will happen, or how will it happen, or maybe then I'll be stuck or frozen or something. And that's not true. Okay. And I could say anything because I'm just a tarot reader on the internet. And so you might, again, anyone could say anything to you. You have to go through this path. I could say it till I'm blue in the face. You're not going to believe it. You have to undo a belief in order to adopt a new belief. This belief is all about your own value and what you're capable of doing that you're not seeing just yet, okay? The fear is louder. So what do we have here? 4 of Swords. Okay, so how synchronistic is this reading, you guys? My goodness. I love your energy, but this is very powerful. 4 Swords, 4 Swords. Look at the difference here. 2 people. Okay, this one we have butterflies. Butterflies talk about liberation, freedom, transforming to our highest potential. Okay, this one we have a lady sitting here with this person. So I feel like there is whatever you're wanting to come in, whomever you're wanting to come in, whatever support, it's there. Okay, but it's designed like this for a reason, to show you something you're not quite seeing or understanding just yet, in order to awaken to the truth, in order for you to release certain hierophant stuff here that's creating your suffering, your burden, the heaviness you're going through. And that this opportunity that's really destined for you is going to manifest here, okay? Now, if you didn't resonate with the way this was delivered, this most likely is not your pile. This is very, very specific, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about here if this is for you, okay? Taurus, Aquarius, Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, like I said, and Gemini. Okay, and then we have double up here. So I don't know why I feel like I need to give you something, maybe advice. Wasn't intending, or something like this. I don't know, something more, maybe. My reading's always kind of long here because I can't just leave things as it is, and this, like I said, it doesn't matter what I'm going to tell you. You're going to have to see it and experience it yourself, but maybe this does help you. I was sort of just doubt that I'm just sort of, I don't know, screaming at wind, but let's see. Spirits, what is it that pile number 1 needs to hear here in the most gracious, loving possible way right here, right now? What do they need to know? Beautiful pile number 1 on the road here. Yeah, and even the 1 I'm hearing really loud, okay? There's just one path. There isn't 2. There isn't this torn thing, that's the illusion. There isn't 2 things, We might feel torn. We might feel like either I'm stuck or I'm in. No, that's the illusion of the mind. You're not stuck, but you are being called to see something. You're being called to see your unstuckness is what you're being called to see. Okay, most spirits tend to the small things. So again, there's this major path. Okay, feels very major for you for sure with the Lovers, destined, your North Star, your person, your place, your thing, your guided. It's going to require you to move there at some point in time. Right now, we're tending to the small things. I don't like it. I want the power spirit. That's ego. Power to do big drives and build this thing. And it's like, no, all you can do is really tend to the small things. When the little opportunities come up, I'm going to deal with it. Okay. But again, the anxiety, don't let the anxiety drive. Mouse can definitely indicate this 9 swords, like certain thoughts that keep coming through, eroding my belief in myself or my trust or my whatever. Okay. Cat spirits, claim your independence. Exactly. What did I say about this Queen of Pentacles? She doesn't need anyone or anything to build. And this 13 is transformation, which is this butterfly. And so when I transform to this independent Queen of Pentacles, confident, capable, grounded, solid in the 3D, in my own energy, I see my own value. I don't need an external thing. I am independent. I am free. Okay, you're turning to a cat. I think that resonates with the reading I did. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before. It was cat that I was seeing in one of the piles. They resonate with that pile. Okay, so we have Scorpio energy and then that transformation. We have 2. So we have the seahorse spirit, watch and wait, exactly what I was talking about. Nothing you can do, watch and wait. This thing's unfold, but it doesn't mean resist it, fight it, and curse it. This means watch and observe as it unfolds, because there's nothing you can really do and it will happen. Seahorse is also made for life. Okay, there's certain species made for life here. And so this could very well be, a connection here in which is unfolding. Okay, but it's, like I say, a connection to your destined person, place, or thing. Okay, 53, or the 8. 8 is the ego number. So we might be working through egoic beliefs, which again, a need for control and that sort of thing, and attachments. Okay, but 8 is all about strength, which is the courage to face your fears and know when to hold back and know when to move forward. Watch and wait. I don't need to go, go, go. That would be egoic. And I also don't have so many fears that I'm so held back and stuck in place or hanging on or clinging to something because I fear letting go. I feel surrendering. I fear. Okay, so it's like the balance between where do I move to? I'm not going to attach. I'm not going to cling. I'm not going to doubt. And I'm not going to force. I'm going to allow myself to move here. Okay, 8 is about movements, change, attainment, authority, manifestation, leadership, goals, and abundance. And so I feel like the authority is your own authority, your own leadership. That's going to drive you to abundance here, okay? And then we have 65. Whale spirits, trust the great mystery. Exactly. It's a mystery right now I don't see. And spirits, the ego don't like that. It wants to know. Where's it going to go? Is it going to build? Can I commit to it? Is it going to commit to me? Is it going to be, is it? Well, watch and wait. Don't like that answer. Then that means more ego. That means more of the self here that's sort of attached to a story that needs to fall away, that needs to transform, that needs to transmute from that controlling, fearful, doubtful energy into confident, trusting, faith in the intuition and in spirit in order to transform to this beautiful potential. That's the mystery we're going through. Okay, 11 is a master number, which is divine inspiration. Okay, so the divine definitely leading. Synchronicity, so you might be really tapped into the divine right now, getting downloads, dreams, signs, symbols, angel numbers. Okay, and then the encouragement to keep going, because I do feel like you're frustrated. I can't go, I can't move. So if this is where I'm supposed to go and I can't move, I'm stuck, right? I'm going to sit here stuck forever. No, don't buy that story. This thing isn't stuck forever. You're not stuck to this thing forever. This thing is flourishing and you are learning great lesson here, okay? Also, whale is sort of navigating through the water. So I feel like really in tune with intuition, spirit, your emotions, diving in very deep to your great fears here. So even the seahorse is water animal. Okay, but these two are earth animals. And so water and earth, water and earth, like really grounding yourself here in the 3D and pulling in everything that's sort of happening within you so that you can balance yourself and ground yourself here in the 3D. Okay, and look, it's mouse and cat. What is that? Predatory, a runner, chaser. Okay, and so there is an energy here where we might, like have a them versus me, or a dualistic understanding of something here. And this isn't about two sort of energies at all. This is about grounding oneself in one's own independence, not chasing anything, not sort of, well, I say attacking anything, you know, and that might be the way that we know. Go after it, you know, that's our collective culture, hustle culture. Go after it, attain the thing, and blah, blah, blah. No. Don't need to do any of that stuff, okay? And like I said, with that 8, it's like knowing when to be sort of in the energy of holding oneself back and know when to move forward. Mouse is fearful. It doesn't move. Sometimes it freezes, you know, and the cat, when it's chasing the mouse, it kind of gets blinded. It's just like chasing that mouse wherever. But when the cat is in natural state, it's sort of there, you know, doing its own thing, very independent. So there's a need to sort of monitor this stuff, you know? So yeah, I feel your reading is complete now. Pile number 1. I hope this helped you. I love you very much. Let me know if this resonated for you. If you were drawn to another pile, then I will see you there. All right, bye-bye. Hello, hello. Pile number 2. You guys picked the drive path, okay? Or the option of the drive, but there's 2 paths. Okay, so your job here is just to understand what path A is for you and path B would be for you. There's 2 sort of decisions. Okay, one could be a yes and a no. One could be go this way, go that way. What would happen? Okay, now like I said in the intro, this isn't predicting anything. This is just reading back to you a state of energy frequency. If you were to go down one path or down the other path, and what would sort of be the outcome or what would happen. Okay, which path you're sort of being called down or to do in a way here that would work out or wouldn't work out, okay? But it's up to you to sort of understand what A is and what B is. Okay, now, if you guys are interested in a private reading, I do have a promotion right now. Save 35% off when you enter in the code SUNSHINE35 on my website, prairievintagejewelry.com. I'll put the information below. That's all private readings, all jewelry, anything listed on prairievintagejewelry.com, and you will save 35% off from now till the end of March. So let's take a look. All right. I don't know necessarily that I'll hold both piles sort of out, but we'll start with A. And so it's up to you to know which path A is, but I will read A out to you in regards to what it is so that you know whether this reading resonates. Okay. If you don't resonate with this A path, and sometimes it could definitely be flipped, but if the energy sounds like one direction or decision and the other one sounds like the other one, okay, then you could definitely use A as one decision and B as the other, but hold it in your mind. Okay, so we'll look at path A first. So Spirit, for pile 2, if they were to go down path A, if they were to choose path A, where would A lead them? And what is the energy of path A for pile number 2? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 2. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile 2. Thank you so much, pile 2, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed to be here, and I'd like to take this time to thank your higher self, your ancestors, your spirit team, guides, angels, who are helping in this act of divination, and of course my higher self and Spirit for assisting this reading. Thank you so much. We are so blessed to be here. Path A for pile 2. What do we need to know about path A? Where will this lead them? Alrighty. Let's take a look. Necessarily look at the bottom just yet. I want to see. So we have the King of Squirrels. This is special in this deck here. In fact, and it is in reverse. Let's read the King of Squirrels here for you. It's very much just keywords that indicate this. It does feel like a relaxed energy here, okay, but a very solid energy. The King of Squirrels. Here he is. So it says happiness, private area, rest, let it go, learning, concentration, space, and down to earth. Private area. That sounded very interesting. I think it means your own private space. Okay. Your mind's in the gutter like me. So happiness, rest, let it go, learning, concentration, space, and down to earth. It is in reverse. All right. Thank you for that. King of Squirrels. We might get another squirrel here. And then we have the Six of Wands in the scene of the Six of Swords, because this is the Shuffle Tarot. Mishmash. Okay, and then we have the Seven Swords, which is in the scene of the Seven Cups. I love these decks, by the way, because they're so layered. I usually get a lot of messages from this, so we'll see. We have the Queen of Swords, and she's in the scene of the Queen of Pentacles here, I do believe. And she's in reverse. So Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, as well as Gemini, Libra, Aquarius coming through with the Queen of Swords. The Devil, and it's depicted by the Hierophant here. So we have Capricorn, Taurus. Then we have the Seven Swords scene. Okay, but this is the Seven Pentacles, and it's in reverse. See what I mean by layered? And then we have the Four of Wands, and this is depicted by the Four Cups in the reverse. Okay, scene. Hermit. Oopsie. And I don't know if this is the Maiden from the... She's holding two candles here. I don't know if this is the Temperance. No, she doesn't have wings. I don't know. This could be the Maiden from the Strength card here, okay? Hermit. Virgo energy. And then we have the Page of Cups in the scene of the Page of Wands. He's in reverse. Okay, so I do feel I want to see the bottom of the deck. We have Seven Wands in the scene of the Seven Pentacle. Look at these sevens coming through. And then the Page of Pentacles. Oh, this is the Page of Pentacles, and he's in the scene of this Page of Swords. My goodness. In the reverse. Okay. Sorry to confuse things, but let me just channel all of this energy that's really coming through for you, beautiful angel. And you could definitely skip ahead while I tap into this whole thing. Sevens are coming through very strong here. You might be seeing 777. Okay. You might be a life path 7. Life path 7s are thoughtful, intuitive, okay, but in the shadow could be moody or shy in some way if you are a life path 7. But 7s are all about faith, wisdom, reflection, understanding, spirituality, intellect, personal growth, solitude. Just coming through in this first card here. Metaphysics. 77, master number, trust the fall and adventure that arises from deep wisdom, trust of life, trust of self. So let me tap into this. Okay, interesting energy here. Hopefully it becomes very clear as I channel deeper into what this option A is. I feel like this energy is telling me that you're in a current situation, and you could have been here for quite some time. I don't know, because there does seem to be some emotional attachment to this thing. Okay, maybe at some point in time it was working for you, or, you know, it made sense to you. But I do feel like recently, or however long you've been sitting on looking at making a decision. Of course, you're here, so there's a decision in front of you, okay? But I do feel like it would require you to sever some part of your world. And this part of your world could be, again, like something important to you, you know? And so this could be a family situation. This could be a job situation. This could be your community of people, or where you sort of hang your hat or your coat, or where you stay or have been stuck or staying. But I feel like you understand, or at least you're trying to understand, maybe you don't see it quite yet, that I think you feel and you know that there is another path for you But I feel like the big energy in this one is like, but how do I, Spirit, like, would I have success in going it maybe alone or cutting this thing out? And I don't think you want to just cut it out so much, but at the same time, it's like, would I be like, how do I go about doing this thing, with grace and succeeding and making the right decisions in front of me that are different than that in which I have been doing and making? Because maybe people are expecting you to stay here, or maybe you have an understanding of why you had to stay here, or maybe you buy the story that you're invested here because of a set of circumstances that won't allow you to move forward. Maybe it's like, it holds my resource, or I don't see a way through and I really want to get out. I have no qualms about getting out, but how do I get out? That's for some of you guys, That's like, my soul's not at rest here, or I can't stick around here no more. Either which way you feel you can't stick around to this thing no more. So because we're looking at the path, it's really talking about spirits telling you, like, this path A is something that was a part of your world for however long it took. That's not a lie, okay? But right now, Spirit is saying there's a need to part with this understanding you might have about why you maybe feel like you can't, or work through seeing the options in front of you clearly, truthfully, and your own power and your own ability to work and navigate your way out of this thing. So it is possible that you can navigate out of this thing. You're not stuck here forever. If you believe, I'm going to be stuck here forever, or I don't know, some of you guys could think you have to be there for whatever your story is. Grandma doesn't let me go. Grandma needs my help, but this pays my bill and that other thing won't. I don't know. That's a scarcity lack belief, and this is maybe what we're working through. And so there's more news at 11 here that's going to be shown and revealed to you that comes from the inside out. So there is no external savior here. There is no external situation that's going to rescue you, okay? This is all about an internal understanding in which we finally can see and be honest with ourselves and the truth of our situation so that we can see the path ahead. Right now, I think it might be a little bit blurry still, and a lot of sort of things that needs to get seen through. And I feel a big one is belief in self, trust that wherever you're going to put your energy or your efforts, if you're really in line with it, it will produce. But if you're putting your energy and your efforts towards something that's misaligned, or the worry, anxiety, or the thing that feels like it's, I don't know, it does feel like it's holding you back in life or making you play small. Okay, because the devil could definitely be like just bad decisions, or thinking that we're stuck somewhere because of some belief of self, or addictions, vices, toxic situations that we were sort of feeding that don't allow us to see the truth. So whatever this devilly thing is, which I do feel it is tied to whatever story you're telling yourself about what you're capable of doing, and it is clouding your vision in regards to when you can leave and how you can leave, and whether you'd be successful in leaving and moving and this sort of a thing. Because I feel your heart is calling you to explore a different world, a different path. And I feel like you feel sad. I can't explore it. So what do I got to do, And then you're waiting here for it to sort of come in a way here that's like an external rescue. And Spirit is saying, no, this is like, if you understand this already, it's already coming online. It's already awakening you to a truth. It's wanting you to sit and reflect on greater truths and unpack this thing, because I feel there is a story we're still believing and running like it's true. I'm limited. Grandma needs me. This thing is the only way I can have my source of income, or just being in that same state, and then looking to the future and then projecting there's problems there, but I don't see how I'd get there. There'd be too many obstacles. I'd have to do this, that, and the other. It's like, would you really? Or is this just a projection of the fear that's maybe making you feel more stuck or not allowing you to go? Okay, so I feel like A is a place where you're at and it's no longer doing it for you. In fact, if the longer you stay here, the more, I say damage, but obviously, everyone's journey is happening for a reason so that we can reveal and see certain things about ourselves and align ourselves, however long it takes, to what it is that we're wanting. And so I feel like there's a fight within you, and Spirit is saying everything will help you to move this thing forward. So when I say you're not being rescued, there's no outside thing. It's not that things won't align, people won't come in a way, but it's like it's really waiting on you to claim it and decide and tell yourself sort of where you want to go, and then believe in yourself too, that the universe will flow in that way, and then you'll go. But when you're sort of in resistance to the new or to what can be, then it's like the universe starts to pile a whole bunch of challenge and we feel even more stuck. So if we feel stuck, if we feel helpless, if we feel we cannot, if we're looking at all the things that will go wrong, that's the thing we're trying to resolve here longer. This is why we stay here longer, because Spirit's like, you will see the truth. And the truth is, you can succeed. The truth is you can move forward. The truth is you need to find balance. The truth is you will see certain paths in front of you and options once you're clear and honest about your situation, not making maybe excuses or reasons or seeing things as challenging or stuck when they're really maybe not, or that they'd be a bigger obstacle than they would be, and you're not putting the energy or the effort towards that path and that decision of the thing that would be lucrative or successful or that would get you out of this state. Because I do feel there's something about being disappointed, maybe even drained, or just maybe even, not wanting to create a disappointment here, like I said, for some of you guys, because you've been here for a while. And so we do everything sort of in our power to not be the bad guy or not go against the grain or do something like this. And then it's at our own expense. Because I feel like you might not think that you have the power here to do this decision. It's like, but I need buy-in. Okay, or I wanted that to be clear and the vision to be in. It's kind of like having kids, or it's like we want to know, that everything's sort of smooth there before the child and plan everything. It's like, no, you'll never be planned enough. You'll never know exactly. The child just comes. There's something here about just sort of being honest with the truth of your situation, which isn't helping you any here. Time to go. Okay? And maybe you already know, but it's like, but how? And that's the thing of it. It's like, well, then there's no trust in the universe. There's no confidence in self. It's not saying that the universe is going to sort of back you in these decisions. And you do hold a higher ground here. And maybe you're like, but I'm just looking at all the investment I'd have to make or the time it would take and the, all that human stuff. And it's like, okay, well, then scarcity and lack and the opportunity will sit here like a fart in the wind. And I do feel like it's something that speaks to you. And it is something here that you can explore. And you're the only one holding the key to whether you can explore this thing or not. Or you could sit here humming and hawing, talking about how you wish things were different, If only I had, and if all the people who, accomplish something, listen to that feeling of if only I had, if only I could, they wouldn't get anywhere. So there seems to be something here that has your name on it. And you might be looking at the glass half full or half empty rather than the glass half full in some way, and this isn't about wishful thinking at all. This is about honest truths. And where's your energy squandered and going? And why are you telling yourself what you're telling yourself? And are you buying the old story? And if you are, only you can change this upon greater truths and reflection. And the only reason we would hang on to that is because it's providing us with some sort of thing that the ego wants. We feel safer here, really, but yet we complain about it, because what you value is going to be where you put your energy. And so if you're in a situation that you don't value, or you say you don't, your energy is saying that you do. Wherever your energy is going right now, which I feel is the thing that is making you not good or feel not good, you're saying to the universe, this is the thing that I value. And so if we want the thing that we actually say we value, then we have to energetically put the energy towards that thing. And however it gets there, we don't have to know the exact path. We just have to see the step in front of us and the decision in front of us to make and align to that thing. And you will have success and you will move towards this thing. And I don't know, there seems to be a lot of what would people say or how would I look or a belief here of that thing, but it's only from within yourself this is stemming, and a projection that all the outside external might be thinking this or saying that, or I don't know, and like I said, I don't know. This seems to be this A energy. So I want more space because we're going to look at B. And I would assume that B would be not staying in this A environment. Okay, so let's take a look at B. I don't know. Let's see. What is B? Where would B take pile number 2? What is the path of B and the outcome or the energy that's sitting with pile or with option B here? With the path B? What is the energy sitting with path B? So 10 wands in the reverse and the scene of the 10 cups. This is also the shuffle tarot. Different pack, collection B. Interesting. Collection A, collection B. Path A, path B. Funny how I set it up that way. I didn't even realize. Very funny. Okay, so we have the 10 of wands in reverse. That was interesting. We have the Page of Pentacles, and it's depicted by the Hanged Man here in the upright position. Path B. We have the Hermit, and it's depicted by the Knight of Cups. Interesting, the Hermit card is here, Virgo. Page of Pentacles is here, but here it's in the reverse. Why is this 10 wands in the reverse here? 5 pentacle in the reverse. It's not wanting to go in. The Chariot, and this is the Justice character. Okay, Cancer and Libra pulling through, and it's clarified by the Hierophant in the reverse. Hierophant. Okay, but this is the Emperor, and this Emperor, he has no armor. Aries, Taurus. Why is this Knight of Cups here in regards to path B? We have Death, Scorpio energy in the reverse, and that's the scene of judgment. I do feel it's clarified by the Page of Swords. And look at the Fool in the reverse. Aquarius energy. Okay, why is this 10 wands and this 5 of Pentacles here in the reverse? We have the Knight of Pentacles, and he is the character from the Chariot, which is right in the center of your reading here. Oh, goodness, there's a lot of cards and a lot of bobbling. Okay, so why is the Page of Pentacles and the Chariot and the Hierophant there? Look at that. 7 Pentacles. Let's see, is this the same card? Fascinating. I didn't know that they had the similar card in here. Okay, same card's coming out. And I do feel it was like this. I don't remember now, but I'm going to lay it like this. Okay, we'll read it energetically. Why is the Knight of Cups, the Death, and the Page of Swords here for path B? 9 Pentacles in the reverse and the scene of the 9 Swords. It's interesting because your cards really felt like forced, forced. Ace of Pentacles and the 8 of Cups. And this is the scene of the 8th Pentacle. Okay. Alrighty. let me sit here with this energy. I'm getting a lot of downloads already. Hopefully I could do this justice because it's coming and going very fast here, okay? So hold on. And Pentacles, okay, just let me sit here with this thing. Okay, beautiful angels. Sometimes I tap into energy around you, you know? Definitely. Because whoever's this energy is stuck in their A world, you know? And I feel like the way the cards are coming out and everything is so funny how my readings come out, because this really seems like there is no staying in A, really, at the end of the day. It's only a matter of why we're choosing to stay there. When I say we can't, but we're doing it. But it's rejecting us. Like, it will spit us out. There is no staying there because change is the only constant. This person, okay, which obviously you're here, whoever this energy is that I'm reading, is forcing them to be. Okay, now it can't force because the spirit doesn't make decisions for us, like I always say, but it's like at a point we got to surrender. At a point, we have to sort of see beyond the illusion of whatever it is that we at one point in time believed. This energy is really stuck in an understanding that's not necessarily true, that's not broadened enough to see the path ahead. That takes time. There's scarcity. There's, if I go down this path, I have to give up, I don't know, some form of practical thing. You know, it won't pay me enough. It pays my bill, or it's doing something. That's a belief. And so Spirit is saying, B is really going to be the only path once we see it, and it is successful. This is the karmic path. Okay, I use the word karma. People don't like it. Whatever. The energetic path, the destined path, the path in which we're being called to see. It's perfectly balanced and aligned here. And we're transforming throughout this process to get here. There's no other path except for this being carved out. This similar, I don't want to ruin one, but same thing. It's like the illusion here is to stay put in the beliefs that there's something here. And Spirit is saying, like, but once we see the truth, which is really questioning our own beliefs and seeing our own empowerment, and that we are able to believe in ourselves when it comes to choosing what's right for us, once we see that we can have success and that there is no scarcity and lack, because we could be looking at what, again, half empty, what won't work, what I have to invest, what I'll lose out on. Like, no, that's a reverse hangman. And so we're free once we see it differently. And so Spirit is saying only the internal truth, when we sit with the truth and it gets revealed and seen to us, will the heart speak loud and clear, and the intuition will be clear, and it won't be blocked by all this materialistic understandings and hierophants and beliefs that are really contaminating the thoughts here and creating this lie or this denial. This experience is shifting and changing, and it requires a release of what doesn't serve. And only when we understand this and see this will the mind then have the buy-in to say, okay, now I can move, you know, because the intuition can be haywire all day. The heart can say what it wants to, and the mind is on a different path saying, no, it won't, it can't, I don't see, I don't understand. And then it's like, yeah, you're right, mind, silly heart, silly dream, silly belief, silly intuition, you know. Okay, well then we're miserable. Okay, well then we're missing out. Okay, well then we sit there and it's like, whatever, the bag of money's there, the house is there, the work is there, but it's like, oh, I'm looking out the window to what I don't have and what could be, so I'll just keep sitting here, and eventually the bag of money will fall on my head. Eventually, like, no, we have to say, is the bag of money worth it, or whatever. I say bag of money, the house, the car, the thing, or the fear that I will have to take some sort of a risk or a decision here, and then how will it pay off? How will I pay my bill? How will I support it? How will I? It's like, well, then we don't trust in our ability in the universe, because there's a big blessing here that speaks to your heart, or whoever this is, and it requires a walking away. And this takes effort and energy and dedication and commitment to see beyond the illusion of the beliefs and to lean into our own Emperor energy, which is empowerment, but to also release the part of that emperor that might be stubbornly stuck or think and fixed and think that it's doing something, that it has some sort of power or control doing the other thing. It's like, no, put aside the armor, put aside the defensiveness, put aside the beliefs that are the emperor in the shadow, because there seems to be a control or a force or a stubbornness or maybe even a lack of belief in self or doubt or whatever. That's where it's stemming from. And so this karmic lesson, this spiritual guidance, this path of shifting and changing and releasing is inevitable. The mind is slow to catch up. The heart wants what the heart wants. The delivery of whatever you're needing to deliver here is the guided path. It will be successful. And we can't invest there just yet until we sort of have buy-in, And however long that takes is up to the egoic self to have the buy-in here. And Spirit is saying there's something only you can do here. Only you can do. It takes buy-in from the intuition. It has you believing in yourself and you seeing whatever it is that you're seeing as the bad thing or the lack or the thing. That's actually the positive of this thing. That's the thing that will help drive this thing. And I don't know if you experienced disappointment in the past, because that would be the only reason why we would create such a resistance or such a doubt or have a belief of such that we're not good enough or that we need to do what we are doing and that the other way or anything else would challenge this thing. And it's like, oh, there's these two things. And, it's like, no, that's just an anxiety and a worry and a doubt that we're attached to some material world. That's what it feels like. So let's say if we're really attached to an understanding about what success would look like, or that I so much so, I put so much weight on something here in the material world, the place, the thing, or the person, I don't know, because it's the pentacle. So it's in the 3D world. I'm putting a lot of weight on something. And so it's the story I hold about that thing. It needs to be X amount of dollars, or I have to stay there X amount of time, or this is the person, or this is the thing. And that's it. And that's all I know. And that's all I see. And so everything else is a threat to this story. That, by the way, is just a big fat illusion. It's not even true. But I believe it's so strong. And so I make it a real thing, but it's not. It's just, again, held in the mind. Anything we hold in the mind is just a fart in the wind. Just because we hold it strong in the mind doesn't make it more so. I believe very strong I'm a unicorn doesn't turn me into a unicorn or a zebra. So whatever's in the mind here has the power right now. Whatever's in the mind here is driving narrative. Whatever's in the mind here is resistance, and it's not allowing for change and shift, because the opposite would be to let that go, which is scary to the ego, and exploring then what is, because, exploring what is, that means I'm risking something, And it's like, yeah, you never seen it that way before. But then we put a lot of power on the risk, and it's like, the risk means this, the risk means that. No, that's the story. Now we're creating another attachment. It's like there is only what is. And either we're in flow with the universe or we're resistant because of the story. And whatever this is flowing to change, shift, and it's more aligned with the heart. So allow it to flow. And yes, will it feel risky? For sure. Could it not feel risky? That too. It's all up to us. It's really up to us what we're sort of feeling and thinking in the moment. So the more we sort of infuse it with fears and anxiety, then we experience fears and anxiety. The more we say, whoa, whatever is going to happen is going to be sort of exciting here, but I know what's meant for me, which would be the truth, by the way, because, it is meant for you. But it's like we can't fake that we're excited. If we have fears and doubt, we have fears and doubt. But then that's what the hermit thing is. Where are these fears and doubt coming from? Who planted this in my mind? Why is it there? Why do I believe it? Why am I attached to that story? Is it even true? Is there any validity to this thing? Is it just some sort of strong hold that it has on me? Let me unanchor this thing, this belief, this thought, because I want to be free to see things differently. I don't want to believe in scarcity and lack. I want to be free. I want to be balanced. I want to know the truth. And I want to be happy above and beyond and align myself with whatever creative thing, love thing to your heart is. So that means release, change. We have to change and release in order to have things shift. We can't expect change and stay the same. Of course, But the mind doesn't like that, because the mind wants to know guarantees, certainties, or the mind wants to be clear about this, that, and the other. And then it creates all sorts of doubts and anxieties and lack of trust and reasons why it can't. And then it gets even more confused. It's like, I don't see and I don't understand, and it's all a big risk. Let me just stay put. Okay, well then enjoy your 4 cups or your disappointment or your stuckness, And we don't want to be stuck. We want to move. And so B path seems to be the path in which you're being guided. It seems to be the thing in which is going to take some time to undo a whole bunch of things and release, so that you can get in line with path B, because path B is where it's at. And I don't know if you're not wanting to go to B because you're resisting it or doubting it, or if you do want to go there, but you're resisting and doubting what you would have to do with A. Either or is applicable here. And it's saying A is old. Any belief story you're telling yourself is just a story belief. B is the change. And B is meant for you. And B will make you happy. That's all you need to know. You just need to find balance. And you need to work with the universe, so you can do whatever you want. If you don't want to suffer, if you don't want resistance, if you don't want to be sitting, humming and hawing and completely upside down, then work with the universe. Because there's a beautiful new beginning that speaks to your heart, that's going to be satisfying, and it's going to take work, and it's going to take you leaving and releasing certain things behind. Okay, beliefs, people's doubts, whatever it is, part of yourself maybe that you've created that you think is part of who you are and what you're about, when it's really just a story of sorts, okay? And Spirit's like, you don't want to miss out, So I think you're not understanding and seeing just yet the truth. And it will come, but we have to release. And we can't get attached to the material story and say, well, it's the real thing because it's in front of me, And it's not saying that what you're seeing isn't necessarily real. Of course, we see mountains, we see trees, we see people. Those are real. Okay, but it's form. And anything that's in form shifts and changes, experiences, people. All of that stuff has a beginning and an end. It's form. It's not real because it comes and goes out of existence. The only thing that is real is what has no beginning and no end. Okay, our eternal light, divine source, no beginning, no end. That's real. Consciousness is real. And so when we feel like we're losing something here, it's like it wasn't really real to begin with. It's always shifting, We can't get attached and create suffering, disappointments, and then we think it's a loss, It's not. It's just form going in and out of existence. That's the truth. So, beautiful angel, this is your reading. I hope this helped you to see, to understand. And I did do this for one, and I feel like I'm going to do it for you too, because it seems to me like you're having a difficult time accepting some truth or seeing some truth or understanding something. So we're going to ask for guidance. What's going to help you in the right here, right now? Spirit pile 2, what's going to help them in the right here, right now? Although there was a lot of guidance, but is there something here that has you really tripped up, that you're maybe really believing? And like I always say, it doesn't matter what I say to you, you have to kind of undo or see it. I can't undo or see that for you. And you can always believe what you believe until you know otherwise. And that's what this karmic lesson is, an experience that makes you see otherwise. So what is it that they could do right here, right now? Skunk spirit, know your worth. So again, like I said, maybe we don't believe and have the confidence that we could drive this thing. And we might be very defensive with this skunk. Skunk can also talk about like our ancestors. So there could be some sort of belief that we're carrying that we were brought up with. Okay, some sort of generational belief that like you got to work really hard for your money, or I don't know, I'm only capable of this and that because that's what my people or my understanding is. And it's like, no, not necessarily. Okay, that's just a belief. So we have 54, which is the number 9. 9 is all about this hermit energy. Okay, reflection. But it's fruition, completion, and fulfillment. And I feel like there's a fulfilling path here with B. Okay, and then we have 37. Lion spirit, be generous of spirit. Okay, so what does that mean? That means not being in lack, not being in scarcity. And what you put out is what you get. So when I hold on to, I attach, I cling, I'm defensive, I'm guarded, I get more of this devilly energy that I must keep up. But when I let go, I release and I allow, then the universe can be in flow state. So we got to be generous of spirit, and we have to face our strength, our courage, face our fear. 37. And that's 10. So we have succession, 9, 10. So step by step, we're going to get there, okay? Step by step. Face your courage. So cow spirit, the miracles are endless. Okay, so definitely a blessing from the universe that comes. It's in front of you. It's meant for you. It's not going anywhere. It's a beautiful miracle. Okay, but 15 is devil, which means what? Which means I have to work through some chains and beliefs and something that it feels very real to me in order for me to experience this miracle, this blessing. Okay, 15 is also 6, which is choice, lovers. The choice is, do I choose the fear or do I choose the courage? Do I choose love? It's always up to me when I'm conscious, but when I'm unconscious, I'm sort of buying the story of lack and doubt, and I keep that alive constantly. Only I can wake up and make a different decision here and choose the path of love. 30, grasshopper spirits, take a leap of faith. Yeah, so you're being encouraged to do whatever you can in your power to believe in B, because B is where it's at. And I could say it's on blue in the face. You won't believe it. It has to be adapted. Courage comes and confidence comes. Nobody can hand it to you. I could tell you all day long. And it's like you have to get there how you get there. And really, it's reflecting on truths. Don't buy lack stories, doubt stories. That's just been a way of being that's getting in the way of you trusting yourself, empowering yourself to make decisions. Okay, but I do feel like there seems to be something devastating about releasing something or letting go of something or taking the chance that might mean something. And that's the story you're attached to. That has more fear and weight and power than the actual thing itself. The story you're feeding, that devil chain. That's where the energy is going. Okay, crow spirit, co-create with spirit. So spirit is guiding you. Spirit is directing you. This is for you. Okay, I'm feeling Scorpio energy from the crow here, the death, meaning transform, release, work with spirit. Go after your North Star with the 17. Okay, you'll heal whatever this ancestral wound or this black belief or this not seeing your own courage or confidence. You might not even see it this way. You might think you're confident, Maybe you think you're choosing A because of whatever that story is, but it's like really there's a lack of trusting yourself and spirit and making this direction. It is your North Star and it's where you're being guided. But you must work with spirit with the lover's path. You must be conscious to make choices. Spirit will not force you. All it will do is make your energy heavy, more annoying, more troublesome, more convoluted, and there until you can see the light. And only you can see the light and choose differently. That's in your hands, however long it takes you. And the sooner you sort of see and release and accept, I think the sooner you're going to be happier. And you'll finally see things differently and you'll be like, whoa, should have done it sooner. Or I should have believed in myself sooner. Or I could have just let go of this thing, But of course, everything happens for a reason. So maybe you're there working through this thing because the timing is just whenever the timing happens. But I feel like the pain and the suffering is saying it's already time and we're clinging and attaching and resisting to a shift and a change that's really trying to heal you, trying to guide you, trying to move you. Allow it. Okay, don't resist it. Beautiful angel. I hope this helped you, and I will see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Hello, pile number 3. You guys picked the lane option. Okay, and we're looking at 2 decisions, 2 pathways that can happen here based on what you decide and where you go. Okay, and looking at sort of what will happen down each of these paths. Okay, so this could be even like a yes, no. It's like if I say yes to this thing, where would it lead? If I say no, where would that take me? Okay, so it's up to you to know what A is and what path B is. Okay, although when I do read it, I'll read what the energy is. And if it doesn't resonate with that, then it's not your reading. It could be another pile. Okay, so definitely don't assume that the pile you clicked on will be the yes, no, or the decision you're making. Okay, and it could be flipped. Like you could say this is A and this is B, but really it's going to be what I'm channeling through. But it does help for you to know what's A and what's B, what you're deciding on. Okay, so that it becomes clear to you. So we're using the Gotia and the Notoria decks here. And for whatever reason, I was so tempted to swap them. And so I don't know if that means your A is B or your B is A, but I don't want to confuse you. Just, I will channel it, okay? And it won't be confusing. Once I channel, you'll know exactly what A is and what B is, but know what you're deciding upon. And we'll ask Spirit, okay? So for those of you guys who are interested in a private reading or a discount off everything at prairievintagejewelry.com, including readings, you can visit my website at prairievintagejewelry.com for I always want to say 25% off, 35% off, because I'm crazy. Sunshine 35 is the code to use. 35% off from now till the end of March. Yes, I'm crazy. And you can definitely save, okay, if you are looking at booking a reading with me. I will put all the information below. And thank you to those of you guys who have already booked. So let's take a look. Path A for pile number 3. Path A. Where would Path A leave pile 3 to? What is the energy sitting with Path A for pile number 3? What is this path about? So we have Temperance, just flopping out. Okay, so that's Sagittarius energy. What is Path A for pile number 3? And then we have the King of Pentacles, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn energy. And we have the Hangman, Pisces energy. What does Path A entail? Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 3. My goodness. I was going to say pile 1. We have the 7 of Wands. And in the center here, we have the 6 of, it is a 6, right? Let me see. No, I'm sorry. We have the 7. My gosh, what is wrong with me? The 9. We have the 9 of Wands. It is in reverse. What is going on in this reading? Everything's crazy. 9 Wands in the reverse. 9 Wands in the reverse. Let me just make sure it's no one needing my help. No. Okay. Clear and concise message, Path A. We have the King of Wands in the reverse. Oh my goodness. 2 kings now. So King of Wands is Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. So I'd like to thank Spirit, of course, for this reading, and of course your higher self and your guides and Spirit's team for this active divination today, and of course pile number 3 for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed to be here. Thank you so much. Okay, we have the Queen of Swords. She's in reverse. We have the Fool. So we have strong Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, and then we have the Hierophant, Taurus energy. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Let's see how many major arcanas. Temperance, Hangman, and the Fool and the Hierophant. It's hard to see with these dark cards. And then we have court cards here. 2 kings, King of Pentacles, and the King of Wands. And then we have, 3 court cards, and then the Queen of Swords. Okay, so I got to sit with this energy for a bit because it seems very much all over the place. Look at the King of Cups at the bottom of the deck. 3 kings. Wow. Some of you guys might have 3 brothers. Okay, could be. Definitely pulling through here. Okay, but there seems to be a lot of people sort of running through this energy or this deck. Maybe aspects of self. The only king we're missing here is the King of, we have Pentacles, Wands, Cups. We're missing Swords. And Swords is the mental aspect. Okay, the knowledge or the understanding here is what's not here. So King of Cups is Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. And I just want to see what's under that. I'm getting sort of lost in this reading. 2 cups in the reverse. Under the, okay. Let me sit here. You guys can definitely skip ahead because I'm, oh gosh, going through this energy is insane. Okay. Beautiful people, I do strongly feel like your energy, this reading that you came here about, is involving someone else, is really what it feels like here. If it doesn't, then this might not necessarily be your reading, okay? It could come through as like energy, obviously, is what I'm reading. So I'm seeing it as person, but sometimes energy belongs to a place or a thing, okay? But I don't think so. I really feel is a person. Okay, just have to put that out there because there could be the odd person that comes through here and they're really just looking at aligning themselves with something. But to me, this feels the relationship is what it feels like. Okay, and I do feel sort of two ways I could read this in two energies. So it could be me reading you and this person or this situation, this opportunity with A. Okay, and so I'm going to read it like this, apply it to your situation. Okay, for A, I feel like there is something that's not coming together. Relationship is what I'm going to read. Okay, I feel there's a lot of love for this thing. And I do feel like the A option here is all about a surrendering and a sort of working through a surrender, working through a balance, working through a confidence in order to have the vision, in order to have a new beginning and shift the energy in a way here that I can understand and see how I can move forward with a decision to commit to and build a future for myself. And so the two energies here, I feel a Queen of Swords who doesn't see and understand, and I feel also the King of Swords missing because the King of Swords doesn't know logically how to make something happen that feels out of the logical space and in a watery space. So this king, okay, now don't take genders literally because it's just energy. The king energy here feels like a person who is uncomfortable with their emotions. And so how do I reconcile my emotions and my logic in order to make decisions? Because if I've always made decisions based on my logic and my understanding, and it's been going smooth, and now all of a sudden, I'm thrown into the deep end with these emotions because, like I said, lots of love here. This King of Cups feels very, very deeply. Now it's battling my mind. How do I reconcile the two? I feel out of my mind. I feel I've lost my mind. That's a very uncomfortable place to be. And so I lose all confidence in myself because maybe my confidence sat in how I understood myself, how I could direct myself, how I could control my world, my narrative. And now all of a sudden I'm turned on my side and I got to figure things out here. And my world as I know it, which was maybe secure, or stable, or grounded, or whatever it was, might be needing to be looked at in order for me to create something that is grounded, stable, secure, which will take a big shift in my energy in some way here. And so I want this. I want to fight for this. I want to move towards this thing. And the only way for me to do this is to surrender, but I might be very defensive. Okay, now the other energy, because I'm reading it this way, and it could be both relevant to your situation. The Queen of Swords, confused. And the only reason she would be confused is because this King of, whatever you want to call him, the King of Swords, who's now in the King of Cups and completely sort of lost when it comes to how to drive anything, she might be confused saying, well, I don't see any direction here because this king is not laying out his vision, or he needs to surrender. He might be too defensive. He might be resisting. He might be doing all sorts of things here that's not providing any sort of clarity or understanding, and we might be not valuing the same thing, or I might want a certain understanding when it comes to values and commitments, and I might be willing to take certain chances, and I just don't see or I don't understand yet because it hasn't been spoken or communicated or understood. And you'd be right. And so this A pile seems like a figuring out how to surrender, understanding how we might be, like how we would surrender, how maybe we could have our defenses up, how to find a vision and the confidence to find a vision to move forward, or how to work with someone here that might be, I don't know, there seems to be peacekeeping here, you know? How do we find the peace? How do we make it work? How do we shift our own perspectives? Because we can't control anyone else in anything like this. So it's like, what do I need to do? How do I need to surrender? How do I understand my own energy so that I'm not either too defensive, or when I can fight for something or believe in something and move something forward? And how do I release egoic parts of me that maybe need to be right or maybe needs to know? Because that's the part that needs to surrender. There's something about dropping the baggage in order to create something new, and in order to understand what we do want to value and heal whatever it is here that might be challenging between two people. Because I feel like there's a relationship that can't come together just yet because of this. And so what's path A? Like, I don't know. Path A is a situation in which things are not working. And the only choice really on the table here with path A is to understand one's own energy and how one can work with the divine in order to see things, their own understanding and their perspective, differently. There's knowledge that has to come through here in order for there to be, I'm seeing 3 pentacles, working together, coming together. And if we are 2 different pages and we value different things, we can't work together, we can't understand. And so there's more sort of being revealed that comes through the divine, but it's only through our own, we can only change our own perspective. We can only have our own understandings being challenged here. Someone else isn't going to find the key or the solution, although they might be working through their own challenge for sure. There seems to be 2 people, 2 things that are being challenged right now to question their own belief system, their own perspectives, their own understanding, so that they can work together and create something to commit to or to build to, and drop the ego. Okay. And like I always say, ego could be on either side, you know, a need for control, feeding the story of what I would look like and what success looks like, or the opposite of that I wouldn't be successful, that I don't have the confidence in this thing, or attachment to any sort of form of control. What needs to happen here? What commitment looks like, what I need and what I understand. That's an ego. It's an attachment to a story. That's not surrender. So this is surrendering, putting down our defenses. This is what this means. And so I don't know who you are, the king or the queen, or you're working with someone here who's either the king or the queen. And this path would be the path of surrender. Surrender to the experience of challenging your own beliefs and perspectives is the only way to have more information be revealed to you in this path, which, by the way, Spirit's keeping under lock and key, because nobody can hand you what it looks like without you going through that experience, which the ego does not like. The ego wants to know. It's like, well, I don't want to stay here if it's going to be a no. I don't want to stay here if it's not going to have a vision and a success or a commitment or a build. No. It's like, well, that's a very black and white egoic way. We're being challenged to push our perspectives, because we will be shown something that maybe we don't understand just yet, that might even blow our mind and be even greater than we thought, or see it completely different. It's like, whoa, oh, okay, now I see and understand, Spirit. I was seeing it black and white, yes or no, this or that, commitment or not, build or not, success or not, whether they want to work with me or not, they have a vision or not, they like me or not. Like, no, that's so base, dense, egoic understanding. Challenge yourself, Spirit saying, let me show you. Don't get involved with this ego thing. Surrender to this experience. Now, you can do what you'd like to do, but this thing seems to be something that is being revealed. More news at 11 will be shown to you once you surrender and work with Spirit and say, you know what, Spirit? I could still open the door to what I want to accept, and I could still refuse what I want to refuse. But I'm not going to make a judgment. And I'm not going to run with the story of what it has to be and what it can't be and what it should look like and what it shouldn't. And I'm going to be open here to what you're going to show me. That's surrender. The Spirit's showing you something. And through this process of alchemy and this transition, we see differently, we understand differently, we can work together, and we might align ourselves with the thing that's actually really aligned for us, because there's deep, deep, deep love here. Okay? And so it might be challenging all of our beliefs, all of our understandings here. And we could be guarding it so much so, and like wanting to be right. No, but I am right. But this is what I want. It's like, no, that's what the ego thinks it wants. Spirit saying, I know what it is that you're needing that's aligned with a more aligned vibration to your truth. Spirit only knows your true nature. And we know our egoic nature. We know what we've experienced in the past. And so we think we know what's right. How many times do we think we know? I want that job. I need that person. I want that car. And then we get it. It's like, whoa, what a big fat fucking mistake. My ego thought it knew. It did everything to get that or fight for that or believe in that thing. And then it's not the thing. So the ego knows diddly squat. The ego is making decisions based on fear, based on past experiences. It's trying to resist certain things so it can protect itself. And then it's trying to attach because it wants to have control and victory over certain things and say, I did it. I succeeded. Okay. So there is no black and white here. Interesting because it's the black and white deck. And we're seeing things black and white. It's this or that. It's either success or not. This person's either on board or off board, and then we make decisions all based on that. Well, that's not hangman energy. That's a very sort of mental way to see something here. And this isn't mental. The King of Swords is absent and the Queen of Swords is in the reverse. This isn't a mental thing. This is a spiritual thing. This is a heartfelt thing. This is a guided thing. This is a divine thing. This is a thing that doesn't require ego. This is a thing that requires surrender. This is a thing here that Spirit wants you to believe in yourself when it comes to the truth of your energy and that you can overcome. So whatever the challenge is, you will overcome. There is going to be an alignment here, but it takes time to align this thing. Okay, but it doesn't require baggage. It requires trusting the universe and even risking maybe what we think would be a big fat fucking risk, and we're too fearful to do it, and saying, you know what, I'm going to trust where Spirit is taking me. That's the true surrender. Let go, release, and take a leap of faith in the direction in which Spirit's trying to show you so that you understand and see things differently here. Okay, that's what Spirit's showing for A. So fascinating. We'll see what's B then. Maybe your A was like, do I stay here? Like, what's going to happen if I stay here? It's like, what's going to happen is you're going to be seeing more. You're going to be understanding more. You're going to have to entertain some way of surrendering here because this thing won't work and won't come together if we don't surrender and identify our own egoic beliefs and our own Hierophant stories. So I'm pushing that over because what we're going to do now is take a look at path B. Okay, so path B. Spirit, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of path B. What is going to happen here energetically? What is the outcome? What is the energy of path B all about for pile number 3? What does pile 3 need to know about path B? We have the 9 of Wands. Interesting, because we have the 9 of Wands in the center here. This time it's in the upright, and look at the colors coming through. Okay, 9 of Wands could be the card of persistence, dedication, and commitments. Okay, an effort, but also could be a defensiveness. It's holding up a mirror here. And we see the cosmos. This is like a portal almost. So let's keep going. What is path B for pile number 3? We have the 8 of Pentacles. So that's also consistency, persistence, resilience, because we're committed and dedicated energetically. Most committed card in the tarot is the 8 Pentacles, okay, aside from the Hierophant, because it's our own energy and effort and dedication and that we're putting towards something here, day in, day out, that creates our outcome. Okay, and then we have the King of Wands in the reverse, twice. These readings are so interesting today with the double ups, and look how many cards. And I was reading an article somewhere talking about the chances of like card combinations coming out, even with these, the limited amount of cards in the tarot are astronomical. So for us to get the same sort of cards is really just unbelievable here. Okay, so let's see. We have the 5 of Pentacles in the reverse, the Knight of Swords in the middle. Oops, one card fell down and it fell sideways. Of course, It fell exactly like this, which is annoying, but that's how I'm going to read it, okay? King of Cups. He is in the sideways position. Oh boy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Okay, why is this 9 of Wands / 5 of Pentacles in the reverse here? And you have the 4 Swords, and it is in reverse. Why is this 8 Pentacle and Knight of Swords here? And we have the Hermit of Virgo energy. Okay, and then finally, why is this King of Wands in the reverse and the King of Cups in the sideways position? 8 Swords in the reverse. All right, and then we have the bottom of the deck, 8 Cups, 8 Cups. Okay, so 8, 8, and then we had another 8 somewhere, I thought. Yes, right here. 8 Pentacles, so 888, angel number you might be seeing, okay? 8s are all about movement, change, attainment, the leadership, abundance, goals, authority, okay? But 88's a master number, a higher calling that is grounded in self-awareness, okay? And reverence for life. So let me read this energy. 8 Cups, a walking away. 6 Swords, a moving away. Fascinating. All right, let's see. Okay. Beautiful angel. I feel like you are deciding either whether to work with someone in a situation, whether it can work or how, whether you can come together. And like I said, you can't control anyone or anything. You could either stay and be miserable. You could stay and see things differently. Or you could just get super frustrated and just be like, I can't take it no more and I got to move my energy out. This is I can't take it no more. Let me just see what happens if I move my energy out. Okay, which you're able to do. And I think either which way, you're going to be shown. Because any path you take in front of you, whether it be A or B, eventually you're going to see something that you're not seeing just yet. And it's about yourself. Nothing to do with anybody else. Okay, but you are in a dance with somebody else here. And so whatever you do, see, and do, it reflects as a mirror back to the person, the situation you're dealing with. So when you stay, you get one sort of an outcome until you can't no more. And Spirit knows that that's going to eventually lead to something else. But wherever all these different paths go, okay, it always is going to lead to the one same place. So that should reassure you. Because whatever you're meant for isn't going to miss you. It doesn't matter how long you stay or any of that stuff, because eventually you'll hit the same roadblocks. Eventually you're going to come to the same conclusions. Eventually you're going to see something. This other path, maybe you're frustrated here and you're like, what would happen if I did this? And that's fine. Then what would happen? You're just going to take a different path, but you're going to get to the same place. So this means I'm frustrated with how things are. And I want to leave behind the frustration. Good. So we've learned a lesson about leaving behind frustrations. But here, if we stayed, we'd be learning how to work within the frustration. So when we leave the frustration, it's like, I never really learned how to deal with a situation where I couldn't just walk away and leave. But I did learn a good lesson about when to leave and how to leave. That's another good lesson. They're all good lessons here. And unfortunately, we need to learn all the lessons that we need to in this experience. So we might learn about when to leave, when leaving makes sense, when walking away. Okay, but I feel like what the main answer here is when you leave and walk away. Is it over and is it the end? No, it's not. It just shifts this dynamic differently. It shifts the dynamic differently here, because what happens then here is that whoever it is that you're dealing with will see a reflection of something else that maybe will make them act in a certain way. And this person might get more defensive might get more talkative, might come to understand their own feelings more deeply because now the absence of you. And all things that do happen here, because it could be a combination of all three, will lead to the exact same path. But it's not going to change the outcome. And so this is the thing the ego doesn't like, because the ego wants to change the outcome. I want this person then to realize it. That's egoic. And it's like, yeah, they could realize it, but it still won't change the outcome because they still be difficult to work with. There's no getting around what we need to do, which is finding a way to surrender that ego so that we can work together here. And how we go about it is a bunch of 10 different ways, 50 different ways. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we're going to be faced with the same decision here. Surrender the ego, my own beliefs. So what I thought, what I needed, what it had to look like is the thing that's actually the challenge here. Won't let us work together. So this path here is scarcity, because we still believe in a scarcity and a lack. However, what we are saying is I don't want to put up with scraps, or I don't want to put up with, and it's not about putting up with at all. It's how we see it. Because it could be, how do I work through challenge or disagreement or misalignment here, rather than I am getting less. I am, that again, ego, I. So there's a scarcity. This is lacking, therefore I will move. Okay, so the ego makes a story, calls judgment on it, and then it moves, which is fine, because maybe we needed to learn to move. But what happens here? It's saying, well, at least I'm not in scarcity. At least I'm choosing self. At least I'm whatever in the movement. And Spirit is saying, we're still going to learn about the ego. We're still dealing with someone who might be completely having to shed their ego themselves, okay, that we're dealing with, but for sure our own. And we're still dealing with someone here who might still be very challenged when it comes to how to deal with their emotions, and that might always default into the shadowy aspect. And so just leaving doesn't necessarily teach someone how to deal with their emotions. It just creates a set of circumstances where we think we're creating a new set of learnings, but all it does is just throw new energy into the mix. And we still got to get to the bare bones, which is whoever you're dealing with, this king, like I said, has to learn how to deal with their emotions. And anything that you pressure, you put or leave or stay or whatever, it doesn't make this lesson all of a sudden seen and understood. This is an internal revelation done by an ego death, by dropping one's ego and dropping one's beliefs. You cannot have someone see their own limiting beliefs by what you do or what you say or what you don't do and what you don't say. And so I feel this is a dance of two people, in which is going to unfold the way it does. Spirit has the higher power. Spirit's going to reveal exactly what needs to be revealed. And the truths are always there. What's the truth here? We have to always remember. Truth is there's love, unconditional love that is there, regardless if we're acting on it or not, or what we're saying or doing. And then it's whether the ego is controlling or the beliefs are controlling the decisions that we make. Fear makes me run. Fear makes me say certain things. Fear makes me combat you. Fear makes me defensive. Fear says whether I could do this or do that. Okay, or the ego attachment, when it feels good, then I'll do this and I'll do that. So now we're choosing ego rather than choosing love and listening to the heart. And so Spirit is talking about this thing will get better. Okay? And all you need to do is know, if it doesn't feel good, if it feels like it's difficult, if it feels challenging, clearly we haven't seen the surrender or dropped the ego or understood the thing from within us. Not that someone else's has to be a certain way. And so whatever you're going to do isn't going to make things necessarily reveal to the other person's internal world. What you do can only impact your own internal world and state. So Spirit is saying, when you do something, when you do make a move, when you do move away, when you do, I don't know, say what you do or do what you do, okay? Keep in mind that what you're wanting is to align your own internal world to your truth. That's it. You're not doing or saying anything to get an external reaction or an external alignment or an external person to whatever. And this feels to me like, I'm so frustrated here. I'm going to try to get my world, that person, the situation to externally shift. And then we hit the same challenge again, and we could really be sort of stuck in this thing, where it's like, well, this person is just so difficult, and I thought they would see the light, or I thought, and it's like still outwardly projecting that someone out there has to do something else. It's like, no, what we need to do within ourselves is look at our own internal state. Are we emotionally happy? Do we feel challenged where we're at? And let me make decisions that don't align me with things that aren't aligned. So if this person's resistant, if this person is, I don't know, in shadow or whatever they are, it's like, okay, well, then I'm just going to align myself with my truth, what feels good for me. However, your truth may appear one way if it's egoic. And so Spirit says, I will show you greater truths. But yes, your feelings are definitely going to be coming through here as a part of what your belief system is. And so when you have distorted beliefs, you might have an idea or an understanding of what you should say and do. And when it doesn't happen, we get more frustrated or we project more. Okay, so the only way to sort of move out of this whole thing is to see the light and see the truth and surrender the ego. And even if it might feel scary, or it might feel like we're being challenged, or it might feel like all sorts of things, like I'm being confronted, I'm being challenged, or it's like, no, just the ego's being challenged. The illusion is being challenged to fall away. The heart is coming online. The heart is what's going to be leading here. And to trust the heart, the ego doesn't like, because it loses all control. It's like, but I wanted the vision. I wanted an understanding. I needed clarity. And no, that's the ego that needs all of that stuff, because in this present moment is all we can know. It doesn't matter how much of the future we can be given. It just silences the ego a bit, And of course, everyone will stick to, well, I can't just move blind and not know. It's like, no, because we're always in the blind. The present moment's the only thing that exists. No one knows what the future holds. All of a sudden, a big fat tornado can come and blast you. We couldn't predict for that. There is no future predicting here. There is just what is in this present moment. And is it aligned and is it not aligned? And am I trying to force outcome, coerce, twist, say, and do certain things so someone can act and see a light? No, it's not our job to make anyone see any light. It's, am I aligned? Do I feel expansive right now, or do I feel contracting? Do I feel like I'm withholding? Do I feel like I'm limited? Do I feel like I'm, feeling not in my greatest energy of outputting love? And if I'm not, why? Let me go output love. Let me go be of service. Let me go and commit myself day in, day out to this present moment of what I can say and do, and confront the things I need to do. So the mirror is being held up to you. And it is saying there's a great universe of everything sort of being connected. And so, one, we're never separate from a person, place, or thing. There is no you and them. And everything that you do will come back to you. And when we're looking out there projecting like this person's a separate person, or they have an external thing, it's like, actually, you're one and the same. Yes, it is high level. And so we can say, well, it's so high level. I'm looking at the material. That is the lesson. It's to get ourselves, their consciousness, to this level, because this is a very spiritual journey, a lesson of surrender and seeing a higher perspective of the divine. This is enlightenment. And enlightenment means I see that we're all one and connected. And I understand that the energy I put out is the energy in which is going to be reflecting back to me. And so when I'm out there expecting someone to shift or change, or that I'm going to do something to shift it, that's an external illusion that there's an out there that's different. And that's the thing that's going to change. It's like, no, the internal must shift first. We must see the truth first within us, that everything is connected. And we must understand our own emotions when we're feeling challenged or struggled or somewhere where it doesn't feel aligned, and then align ourselves or row ourselves towards that, even if it feels like it's going to challenge me, or I have to say this, or I have to confront this, or I have to do this. Yes, well, then we got to do that. We might feel very threatened, and we might be very defensive and wanting to guard our position because it's right. And anytime we think we're absolutely right, chances are we're an ego and we're completely wrong. There is no right. There is no wrong. There is just in this present moment. Is it aligned? Is it not aligned? Am I in scarcity? Am I outputting energy? And what is the truth? Okay. And there is great love here, and that is true. And there are beliefs here that are limiting, and there are beliefs here that are really keeping this energy stuck. So what's path B? Path B is you looking at your situation and feeling like you're going to do something to get and break away from something, which is going to take you back full circle to whatever you were needing to learn anyway. So whether you choose A or whether you choose B, Spirit says, I will come through, because when you go through and you do what you want with B, you're allowed. Spirit says, absolutely, go ahead. You'll see something here too. Everything's of value. You'll do B, you'll move out, you might feel okay, you might say, yay, I'm doing something, but the ego believes it has some sort of control that it doesn't anyway. Then it's going to come back to a full circle. Because why? Because the truth here is there's love. The truth here is there's a partnership here. But this act doesn't change anything of that. It just reveals more and more to you of what you're needing to see about yourself, that you and this person are one. That there's a greater truth here than what you can do in the earthly plane and say, and that's scarcity belief. And so the more you sort of experience this way, that way, do this, say that, talk to this person, don't talk to this person, the more you're going to be shown the truth. And the truth is, again, you're not separate. There is no lack. But you could keep living in that dream and that illusion. And Spirit says the only way to break that is to see through our own ego, our own limiting beliefs, our own narratives, our own upbringing, social constructs, and everything else that we sort of hang on to, and challenge our own perspectives and know that there's many, 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 many perspectives. Okay, but there's the divine truth, which is we're all connected. And then everyone's sort of thinking that they're in their own little world, separate, doing their own thing. And that's not true. Yes, they're taking action, but they're not separate. And we're all in the dance of the divine. It's all ourselves, you know? I'm you, you're me. We're all connected in what we do, and whatever you put out comes back to you, and whatever you're meant to see will be shown to you. Whichever path you go, you're going to be revealed the truth. And I feel you feel threatened. And I feel like this question you had here, or this path, is like, should I speak my truth? Should I, be more, I don't know, like sever this person or tell them what's what, and then I'll get it done. And it's like, that's attaching to a story or a belief here. That isn't necessarily a truth, but you could definitely go down that path and experience what happens here. And what happens here is you're going to go back to a realization that there's limiting thoughts that keep you in place that aren't necessarily attached to this person's being, but your own. And the only way we could see that is to sit with our own energy, not to project what this person is going to say or do, but what's going on in my world here? As above, so below, as within, so without. It's all connected here. And so whatever I'm experiencing internally, once I understand and master that whole thing, I start to see it out there, and it reflects everything that's going on with this person and all of this stuff. So I feel like you might have asked if you should communicate something here or come out of hiding, or I don't know. Should you take some sort of action, some sort of move, or come out of some sort of period of no contact, or not be quiet anymore, and would this move this, and would it move forward, and all of that sort of question. And Spirit saying this question is coming from an ego that thinks that its decisions are going to have all of these different sort of outcomes, when Spirit is saying all it really is going to do is either delay something from actually getting someplace, but that's fine, because that delay is divine timing, in which we were being called to see something anyway. So it's not necessarily a delay, but it was an action so that we could see a greater truth, which was needed. So it is very confusing to sort of lay this out in a black and white way, because it's not black and white. It's very full of color here. And so, like I said, the relief here is that what's meant for you is going to be unfolding. Doesn't matter whether you confront this person, whether you don't talk to them, whether you're going to do this or say that. The truth here is Spirit says, I want you to see the truth of who you are in your divine nature and how you're connected here to this person. And I want you to not feel threatened, but to challenge your own self to see through the illusions and break through your own limiting thoughts. Because the only thing that's real is the heart, because the heart knows the truth. It doesn't come with the preconceived understandings and mind and illusion. It knows because it feels the truth. It's connected to divine. And once you connect to this, Even though you might feel challenged or threatened, you will see the truth and the ego will fall. And so this point is not one of a vision of how it's going to get there and when it's going to get there and all of that stuff. And we might be very attached to that vision of how and would it succeed and where is it going to plan to and is this person going to drive it? And then, no. Attach to that and be miserable. Attach to that and stick to the illusion. Attach to that, then we're still going to be in the same place where we always were, butting our head up against the wall. Spirit saying, take a look at the truth. The truth is within and the truth is without, because it's also happening in the everywhere around you. So once you see the truth and sit with the truth, then you'll understand the mysteries of what's going on out there. Then you'll see what's going on with this person. Then you'll be able to influence it a little bit better because you will be dancing with the truth. So when this person says or does, I can respond. I'm in the present moment rather than I'm in this illusion of lack or mind story. So when this person does something, I think I'm doing something, but I'm really still in fantasy or still in the mind. It's not in the truth. And we can get lost and dance in the untruth all we want, as long as we want, until we see and wake up. Inside of us, there's something going on. What is this truth? What does it look like? Let me embrace what I need to, surrender to what I need to, keep consistent at it. It's going to take effort and energy in order to see the truth, which means just observing, constantly putting yourself in the present moment. Okay, but it's not requiring you to chase anything or become something you're not. And when you do feel threatened, there's a need to just examine oneself and say, am I speaking my truth right now? Am I being defensive? Am I believing in lack? Am I feeling rejected? Am I feeling without right now? And is this true? And if it is a belief that I carry, know that it's not true, and there's a desire and a need to shift one's energy out of that, because no one wants to sit in rejection and lack, towards the truth. And this will be revealed to you, and it will come to you once you let go of your lack beliefs here. Okay, so the hermit's journey is the only way through this thing. There is no other way but through the hermit's journey. And then I feel like Spirit is saying we get sort of thrown back to this fool energy, because I feel like the fool is ready to entertain in the present moment whatever sort of comes here as a result of knowing oneself and dropping any beliefs and baggage and all of this stuff. So I feel like you're going to keep kicking it back to having to work through a challenge with someone. But you always have the choice. You don't have to belong with this person or get married to this person or stick with this person. No, but what the universe is saying is you will find a way to see a higher way of dealing with challenge in someone here. And the heart is what's sort of guiding this whole thing. And what's derailing it is the ego and the beliefs and the stories we tell ourselves. And then they're sort of battling it out. And we feel threatened, and then we say, it's the other person threatening me. No, it's just the ego and the beliefs. So let's get you some guidance here, because what a reading. And I don't know necessarily that the two paths sort of, were very clear to you. But I mean, the reading, I couldn't read it in any other way. It's very clear to me what it was saying here. Okay, so I don't know if it's not what you wanted to hear, but either which way that you're going to go down, you're just going to get to the same position, one of surrender, one of working with the divine and seeing our truest nature, because that's the only way through this challenging person or situation. Okay, so what's the guidance, and what does pile number 3 need to know that I've missed here? Have I missed something? We have magic works through you. Exactly. So Spirit is working through you. And so no matter where you go, like I said, it's within you. So if I go in B, if I go in A, if I go in D, L, M, N, O, P, it doesn't matter, because within you is the answer. Within you is the thing you're wanting to experience. Until you see it's already within you. And you might be searching out there. That's the person, or at that point in time, or at that. It's like, no, it's already within you. It's already here. The kingdom at hand is here already. Do you see it? Do you see it? Change your perspective. You're already content. You're already whole. You already have the thing. It's not external. There's no seeking it. 52, which is 7, which is chariot energy. Frog spirit, clear out the clutter. So what's the clutter? The clutter is 8 swords, beliefs, hierophants, okay, in which create this clutter of energy. that makes me believe certain things. So frog is healing. I must release, cleanse, and heal the pains and the thoughts and the stories of the past in order for me to see the truth, because clutter creates distortion. Okay, 28 or 10, which is release. And then here we have ant spirits, time to collaborate. So unfortunately, like I keep saying, this person is part of your lesson here. There's no avoidance of working with this person. I think both of you guys, and I want to say working with, whether you're by their side or in a complete different universe, the energy is tied. And what you do impacts the other, and what they do impacts you. It's the divine mirror that's showing you you're one and the same energetically here, and it's really revealed by this dance of two. And it's how do we work together? So it doesn't matter here if you say, I'm going to do this to resist and to fight and to make them see. It's like, no, actually, you're just making yourself see something else. So this is why it's not wrong. It's like you're just, whatever you do is holding a mirror to you. So you could do this, that, or the other. And there's no wrong way. It's spirit saying you're going to keep seeing a mirror. So if you keep doing B, maybe you keep holding up the same mirror until you see that lesson. And it's like, okay, now I'll try A again. Now you see a different mirror, because everything you will do will be a mirror. But everything this person does is a mirror. It's telling you something about you. Okay, and why is spirit doing that? There's a new beginning that comes after ending, after release, after clearing up these thoughts that are creating distortions in your world so that you can have spiritual ascension. Okay, and the spiritual ascension we all have because we need to graduate from these earthly beings who are very dense and very stuck in ego to more spiritual beings. Okay, and see your divine nature here. So time to collaborate, 3 pentacles. And then we have cat spirit, claim your independence. So am I relying on this person to do and be and say certain things? Or am I releasing, allowing the transformation to happen, the death, okay, ego death or whatever, the release of these thoughts in order for me to see my own confidence and independence? Okay, now we're not, like I said, a vacuum onto ourselves separate from this person. But what this means is that I know that I am whole. I know that I'm not separate, but I know that I'm independent and confident to make my decisions here that aren't driven by whether someone's showing up or acting up and adding to my self-worth. My self-worth's already there. My strength, my independence, and my power is already here. It's not something that's going to come when someone comes correctly, you know? That's what this reading is really giving off here, okay? Scorpio energy, Magician, Gemini energy, and some Leo energy is coming through, and Cancer. So Spirit, what does pile number 3 need to know? One more guidance. 2 more? Okay, 2 more cards of guidance here. But you need to know. All right, Beaver Spirits, we have solid foundation. This is giving me 3 pentacle. Okay, and this 8 pentacle, 3 pentacle, 8 pentacle. We lay the foundation through what? Through the more we understand, it manifests in the 3D. Whatever you're going through right now that's challenging, releasing your understandings, it is the foundation of what's going to be solid. This thing will manifest into solidness here. Okay, but we need the foundation. We can't build on shaky beliefs. We can't build on hierophants and 8 swords. So we have to release, transform, know our self-worth and independence to build something to work with someone here. Okay, lovers, which is a conscious choice. So either we choose fear or we choose the lover's path in which we listen to the heart. We don't listen to the ego. And then we have the armadillo spirit. Set healthy boundaries. Card number 3. And you guys know exactly how I feel about boundaries because I think a lot of people have boundaries completely confused. What does a boundary mean? How do I work with another without getting triggered, feeling the need to block, run, avoid, deny, suppress, and say, here's where I draw the line. The line is imaginary. The line only tells you how healed you are. How can I be in a world where I'm engaged with people without getting triggered? At the end of the day, and when I do get triggered, it's not this person that did it to me. It's the universe showing you a mirror where you need to heal. Because if you're healed, nothing triggers you. There is no triggering. No one's doing anything to you. They can't control your energy. There is no boundary to set. Now, of course, if someone's hitting you with a hammer, this isn't your reading. They hit you with a hammer, you go like this. You block your head. Boundary. But this isn't about, I'm going to block this person on social media because they said this and did that. Because, of course, all of us are going to have these other levels. And some people are so sheltered and protected, and they could say, well, that's right. It's like, no, because everyone has to walk on eggshells because someone is highly sensitive. No. That's their own thing to release. That's their own thing to understand about themselves, that I can go into a world and be in a body that's not threatened. The only thing threatening me is the story that I attach to, that this thing's going to be threatening, that this person is going to create all sorts of things here. And I believe that story, and it's really that attachment belief to that. That's the threat. That's the threat, not the person, not the experience. And so it's saying, where are your boundaries and what is healthy? What is healthy? Of course, if someone comes with a hammer, I block it. If I'm engaged with someone and I get triggered, whose fault is that? And we want to always say you, but if they did that, then they did that. That's the ego. There's no you. That's just you yourself having an argument with yourself. There is no them that's creating any suffering for you. We got to flip it. It's your internal world that's projecting. The world is a mirror of what's going on inside of you. And once you see that, you're free. You see the truth, and there is no need for any boundary. It's like putting a boundary to yourself. I'm making myself angry. It sounds silly. It is silly. So, should you resist this person, deny them, and block them, and create all sorts of havoc? Go ahead. See what happens. And you're just going to see more about yourself, more about just ego that's creating all sorts of things. It's not going to make you happier. It's not going to find union and happiness. It's going to cause resistance. And I think what you want is a working together. Then you want to find a way to do that. So you're saying, if I do this, maybe I'll do that. If I do that, it's the ego thinking it has the answer. It's like, no, surrender is the only way. Saying, you know what? This person's going to be how this person bees. It has no reflection of my value, my wholeness. I don't need to set the boundary. Okay, now this doesn't mean put up with a situation in a way here that's going to make you settle, because no one's telling you have to get married or engage or have sex or do anything with someone here who is not doing it for you. But then you just go to the next. There's no tension. There's no conflict. There's no resistance. There's no I have to block. There's no nothing. There's just yes, no. You let your yes be yes, your no be no. That's it. That's a healthy boundary. This means no. This means yes. There's no conflict. When we feel conflicted, when we feel manipulative in a way to make energy happen, that means the control is online, the ego's online, and it's trying to force an outcome. So look at your own energy. Forget this person for now. Spirit is saying there's a way to work together, and I want you to see the truth. But the only way you're going to see the truth is to see yourself, not to see this person, not how's this person feeling or doing or saying. Okay? Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, what matters is where's your energy at? Are you resistant or are you surrendering? Are you in heart or are you in fear? Are you in control? Are you in trying to manipulate energy, or are you in surrendering to what is in the present moment? That's the heart. Then you have collaboration. Then this energy is going to sense this and open up and work with you, because there is a working together and there's a truth here. But when we put out resistance, we get resistance. When we put out fear and control, we get fear and control. When we put out boundaries and aversions, we get versions and boundaries and more things to boundary up against. And we can make all sorts of reasons why we need this. And if I see a comment like this, I'm going to just boop it, because I've had enough of the booping on my channel of people who are annoying to me. Okay? This is what we're seeing. There's no need for resistance. There's no need. And if you are there, then that's fine. That's where you're at. This isn't your reading. This is what you're being called to see. It's going to keep making a headache in front of you until you see it. Okay? So I'm arguing with myself, like I said, because we're all one. So the universe is showing us something here. And it is saying that you yourself, your own world, is exactly what you're seeing out there. And that's it. Okay? And then you're in harmony. It's that simple. And things will definitely shift. Okay? And don't complicate it. And know that whatever you're going to do, eventually you're going to see this. I don't know how long it's going to take. Could take years. Could take 3 years, 3 weeks, 3 days, 1 day. Could take 10 years. I don't know. You know? Especially when we're really in that dream. Far in that dream. Thinking that we're the ego character. We're lost in that. Okay? Ego needs to get integrated here in order to move forward. All right. Beautiful angel, this is your reading. I hope that helped you. I lose myself in my channel. but I'm allowed because that's what I do. So I'll see you guys at the next one. I'm wishing you guys the best of luck, and I love you very much. Bye-bye.